Hello students, good morning, welcome to the class. In our previous class, we were discussing with the classification of haloalkenes and haloarenes, and we completed the nomenclature system, and we have seen what is the nature of the CX bond, the carbon and halogen bond, and we have seen the summary of the methods available for the preparation of haloalkenes and haloarenes. Now, in the present class, we'll continue with the methods of preparation. So we'll start with the first method of preparation by using alcohols. So we know that alcohols are represented by the general formula ROH. Alcohols to represent, we'll try to use its general formula ROH. Now, by treating the alcohols with halogen acid, phosphorus pentahalide, phosphorus trihalides, and thionyl chloride, so we can able to prepare the haloalkenes. This method is preferable for the preparation of haloalkenes. That is, by using alcohols, we can able to prepare the haloalkenes. I will try to learn the first one by treating alcohols with halogen acid. Now, if you take any alcohol, that is a primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, or a tertiary alcohol, and if you treat the alcohol with the halogen acid, that is HX, maybe HCl, HBr, or HI, in presence of a reagent anhydrous zinc chloride. It is anhydrous ZnCl2 zinc chloride. So we are going to see the carbon and the OH bond is going to cleave, and in the cleavage the halogen atom is substituting the position of OH. As a result, we are going to get RX as alkyl halide or haloalkene with the H and OH of alcoholic group. So will be removed in the form of H2. That is, when an alcohol is treated with halogen acid in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, we are going to get an alkyl halide or haloalkene. So with the removal of a water molecule, generally the reaction proceeds with the cleavage of COH bond and the HX bond here. OH and H will be removed in the form of water. Now, if you observe the order of reactivity of various alcohols with halogen acid. Now, a carbon attached with hydroxyl group, an R group, and two hydrogens. So it is called as primary alcohol and can be represented by the formula RCH2OH. Similarly, a secondary alcohol can be represented as R twice CHOH. Again, R group may be similar groups or different groups. Tertiary alcohol, that is R thrice COH. Again, R groups here may be same groups or different groups. If we observe the order of reactivity of these three with a given halogen acid, so tertiary alcohols will always react at a faster rate when compared to secondary alcohol, when compared to primary alcohol. Now this is with respect to order of reactivity of various alcohols with the given halogen acid. So why we can understand with in detail by learning the chemical properties. It is based on the stability of carbocation. Tertiary alcohol will produces more stable carbocation when compared to secondary carbocation and primary carbocation. As a result of this, tertiary alcohols will react at a faster rate. So this in detail we'll try to learn with a nucleophilic substitution mechanism point of view. Now, this point, what it is important here. So the order of reactivity of various alcohols with halogen acid is tertiary alcohols will react at a faster rate when compared to secondary alcohol when compared to primary alcohols. And if we observe the halogen acids, it is HCl, HBr, and HI. If we take HCl, HBr, and HI. Here the bond length can be taken for the reactivity of the halogen acid. Generally, HI will react at a faster rate when compared to HBr, which will react at a faster rate when compared to HCl. The reason is that, so if we observe here, the bond between the hydrogen and the halogen, so HI bond length is more, hence it is weaker, hence it will be easily cleaved when compared with the bond between the H and Br and compared with bond and HCl. As though the order of reactivity of halogen acids is in the following order. So there is a very important name used for a combination of halogen acids and this anhydrous zinc chloride, so which is called as a special reagent called as Lucas reagent. So this in detail we are going to learn in the unit alcohols is Lucas reagent. So Lucas reagent is a mixture of concentrated HCl with anhydrous ZnCl2 zinc chloride. The mixture of concentrated HCl and anhydrous zinc chloride is called as Lucas reagent. So this is used to differentiate the alcohols as tertiary, secondary, and primary. So this principle and the reactive nature with the detailed equations we learn in the unit alcohols in our next organic chemistry unit. Now, this is the basic information regarding the general reactivity of alcohols with halogen acid. So if we observe, so recall again, when alcohols are treated with halogen acid in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, so it leads to alkyl halide. So try to remember with the help of an example. Now R group, you can take it as ethyl group. So this is the general equation, we can call it as. Now we'll take an example equation. So always try to prefer an easy example for you to explain the type. So we'll take ethyl group, and with the hydroxyl group, the alcohol is CH3, CH2, OH, or we can call it as C2H5OH as ethyl alcohol, which when treated with Lucas reagent, it is concentrated HCl in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride ZnCl2. So it gives rise to ethyl chloride CH3, CH2, Cl with formation of water. So always try to practice all the equations. So with the conditions, whatever it is specified, that is usage of any special reagent. If it is any temperature, pressure, or catalytical conditions, then try to prefer or practice of writing the important reactant and product name below the equation. So if you forgot to write the explanation, and if you mention the names of the important reactant and product when you are writing the answers, it gives the weightage and you will fetch the full mark. Self-explanatory equations will always preferable for the scheme of valuation. So this is ethyl alcohol. When ethyl alcohol is treated with concentrated HCl in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, so it gives rise to the haloalkane. Here the alkyl group is ethyl group, hence it is ethyl, and the halogen is chlorine, hence it is ethyl chloride is the halide form. Or you can give the IUPAC name, it is 1-chloroethane. 1-chloroethane is obtained as a product. Now this is a general equation, and this will be an example based equation. So based on the question we need to answer, if the question is explain how haloalkanes are prepared by using halogen acid, so you can directly write a general equation and you can explain it. Or if the question is specific, explain with an example how haloalkanes are prepared, then we need to use the example based equation. And the supporting information here, so how the various alcohols will react with halogen acid in preparing the alkyl halide. So we need to remember tertiary alcohols will react at a faster rate when compared to secondary, when compared to primary. So the composition of Lucas reagent you remember, and try to remember the example of the HCl with presence of zinc chloride in the preparation step. Now this is our first method of preparing the haloalkane by treating the alcohols with halogen acid. We'll learn with the second one, how by using phosphorus pentahalides the haloalkenes are prepared. Now by treating the alcohols with phosphorus pentachloride, we'll take directly with the example PCl5. Here, the side products along with the main product is also very important. Now, our main product obtained will be the alkyl halide. Here, the C and OH bond will be cleaved between the alkyl carbon and the hydroxyl group, and the position of OH is substituted by one of the chlorine to form the respective halide as the chloroalkane. So we'll directly write with the example of halide here, this Cl. Then one H and one Cl will be formed as HCl, and remaining can consider the product as side product P and oxygen of hydroxyl group PO, and Cl3 will form an important compound of phosphorus, it is POCl3. So POCl3 and HCl are the side product. So one of the Cl of PCl5 is substituting the position of hydroxyl group, so thereby leading to the formation of an alkyl halide. As we observe, so it is an alcohol treated with phosphorus pentachloride will result in the formation of alkyl chloride and POCl3 and HCl. So you can give this in the form of an example based equation. Again, you can take either methyl group or ethyl group as our group. So we'll take an ethyl group, it is C2H5OH. The alcohol used is ethanol, the IUPAC name, or the IUPAC name, common name you can use it as ethyl alcohol. So when ethyl alcohol or ethanol is treated with PCl5, hydroxyl group is substituted by chlorine to give ethyl chloride or chloroethane, and with the side products POCl3 and HCl. The main product formed here is, it is chloroethane. So will be the IUPAC name. So if we use the common names here, so ethanol is ethyl alcohol, and the ethyl chloride form is, that is chloroethane in common naming system, is called as ethyl chloride. Will be a simple example. So when any alcohols, if it is treated with phosphorus pentachloride, so one of the Cl is substituting the position of hydroxyl group to give the respective alkyl chloride, and the side products formed in the reaction will be POCl3 and HCl. Now we'll learn with the third one, how phosphorus trihalides treating with alcohols leading to the preparation of haloalkane. So now we'll observe with PCl3 first. Now, if we take any alcohol and if we treat with phosphorus trichloride, again here one of the halogen will substitute the position of hydroxyl group and will give respective alkyl chloride, and the side product formed here is orthophosphorus acid. It is H3PO3. Based on this, balancing can be done here. Now, to consider the 3 hydrogen and 3 oxygen, the required treating of the alcohol is 3 moles of alcohol. So we'll combine with 1 mole of phosphorus trichloride to give 3 moles of alkyl chloride and a mole of, it is H3O3 with P in the form of an oxo acid of phosphorus. It is H3PO3, that is phosphorus with form like this. So it is H3PO3. Now we'll first focus on the conversion factor now. That is, when any alcohol is treated with phosphorus trichloride, it gives rise to the alkyl chloride along with the side product orthophosphorus acid, which is an oxo acid of the phosphorus. In detail, we learn when we are learning with the 15th group elements. As we observe this with an example, we'll take ethyl group as our group, C2H5OH, when treated with PCl3. So we'll give ethyl chloride as a product. It is C2H5Cl with orthophosphorus acid H3PO3 to balance. So 3 moles of alcohol will combine with 1 mole of phosphorus halide to form 3 moles of alkyl chloride. If we observe the names of the reactant, that is ethanol, will give rise to chloroethane along with orthophosphorus acid. So always practice of writing the equation with the important reactant and product names below its general formula or their structures. So for this, you need to write a simple explanatory sentence. So along with that, so try to practice. Now this is with the first one, phosphorus trichloride. So it can be done by a direct treatment of alcohol with PCl3. Whereas if we take PBr3 and Ci3 for the preparation of the bromoalkanes or iodoalkanes, bromoalkanes or iodoalkanes. So we cannot consider like this in a direct treatment. These iodoalkanes we cannot treat directly with PBr3 or PI3. So the reason is that both PBr3 and PI3 they are unstable. They are unstable at room temperature. Hence, it cannot be used for its preparation so directly. Hence, there is an alternate method is used. So the alternate method is that by treating the red phosphorus with the halogen, that is either bromine or iodine, during its preparation, so we can consider the method for preparation of bromides and iodides. For example, when an alcohol is treated with red phosphorus in presence of bromine, we'll take with the example only, no? It is in presence of red phosphorus, will heat with bromine. Now we are going to get here the alkyl bromide as the example. Similarly, so if we take alcohol and if you heat with iodine, so red phosphorus heating with iodine, so we can get the alkyl iodides or iodoalkanes as an example. Now this is the difference between the preparation of chlorides, bromides and iodides. So chlorides can be directly prepared by treating PCl3 with alcohol, whereas PBr3 and PI3 is unstable. Hence bromoalkanes and iodoalkanes cannot be obtained by direct treatment of these compounds with alcohol. Hence an alternate way is by heating with red phosphorus, either bromine gas or solid iodine, we can able to prepare the respective bromoalkane or iodoalkane. So thereby, so this can be used for method of preparation. Now we'll learn with the last method of preparation by using alcohols. That is by taking the alcohol and by treating the alcohol with thionyl chloride, that is SOCl2, in presence of a strong base pyridine, which is very important in the equation. We'll try to know what is the significance of adding pyridine here. So in presence of pyridine, so which is a base so here one of the halogen, that is chlorine from thionyl chloride, will substitute the position of hydroxyl group, so leading to the main product as alkyl chloride, and the hydrogen of hydroxyl group will combines with the chlorine to form HCl, and SO with oxygen of hydroxyl group, so will be formed as SO2. Now, as SO2 is gas, so it will be liberated from the product mixture, and the main product and the reactant used is, so when alcohols are treated with thionyl chloride, so we are going to obtain the alkyl chlorides as our main products. As we observe here, what is the use of adding pyridine is that, so use of pyridine is, so pyridine as it is a strong base, so immediately it will combine with the formed HCl and will neutralize. So thereby, so it will help in removing HCl. So pyridine helps in the removal of HCl by combining it with immediately, and sulfur dioxide, so as it is a gas, it will easily escape from the reaction mixture. So and the obtained product alkyl chloride will be obtained in the purest form. Hence, so treating with thionyl chloride is the best way to prepare the pure alkyl halides. To prepare pure alkyl halides, the reason is that So in this method, so the side products formed can be easily removed by leaving the main product. Hence, the method is most suitable for preparation of haloalkane. Can expect this as one mark question. What is the role of adding pyridine, as well as what is or why is the method is most preferable for preparation of haloalkanes? The reason is that so the obtained products along with the main product can be easily removed. So hence the side products can be easily removed. So the main product can be obtained in the purest way. Purification of the product is easier, can be considered as a reason for this. It is purification of alkyl halide is easier. Hence, we can say this method is the best or the suitable method for preparation of haloalkanes. Now, these are the important methods used for preparation of haloalkanes alone, and the methods are not suitable for haloarine preparation. So we'll try to see the reason. Before going to the reason, we'll give an example equation with thionyl chloride. Now this will be the general equation. So if we take an example, so we'll take the same ethyl alcohol. It is C2H5OH. When ethanol is treated with thionyl chloride, SOCl2, in presence of a strong base pyridine, so it will give the ethyl chloride as the alkyl halide C2H5Cl with HCl and SO2 gas. So hence the reactant is ethanol, and the obtained alkyl halide is chloroethane. Now we'll observe the first method, that is by using alcohols treating with halogen acid, phosphorus pentahalide, trihalide, or thionyl chloride. So this method is not useful for preparation of haloarenes. So this method is useful only for preparation of haloalkanes. So we'll try to see what is the reason. Now, haloalkanes can be prepared by using this method. Haloarenes cannot be prepared. Now, for preparing haloalkanes, we are going to use alcohols. And for preparing the haloarenes, so we need to use phenol for the preparation. Now, either in any case, so to obtain the respective alkyl halide, this bond has to undergo a cleavage. So COH bond has to undergo cleavage. So here it will be sp2 hybridized carbon. So generally here it will be sp3 hybridized carbon. And if we observe between the carbon and hydroxyl group of the phenol, so the phenol we need to use to prepare the respective haloarene. So there will be a partial double bond character. So if we take, there will be a partial double bond character is seen. So due to resonance, between C and OH bond in this case. So as a result of this, so this bond is to cleave, it is very difficult. Hence this method is not used for a general method of preparation, as the COH bond in the case of phenol, which has to be used to prepare the haloarene, it is acquiring a partial double bond character due to resonance. Hence, it is very difficult to cleave. As a result, so this method is not suitable. Generally, preparation methods are used based on the easiest way to obtain the compound. As it is very difficult, hence this will be not used for preparation of haloarenes. Whereas if we take the haloalkanes, there is not such a problem here. COH bond can be easily cleaved in the reaction process, hence the method is most preferable, and this is not used because of the difficulty in cleaving the bond. So when the reaction is taking place. I will observe with the second type of method, that is by using hydrocarbon. So we'll take the first one by treating with halogens as in the form of free radical halogenation. So this method is used for preparation of chloroalkanes and bromoalkanes. Chloroalkanes and bromoalkanes can be prepared by using this method. So this is done by treating halogen in presence of UV light. So by treating halogen in presence of UV light, so free radical halogenation reaction takes place. Free radical halogenation reaction. So, and as a result of free radical halogenation, whatever the chloroalkane or bromoalkane obtained, so will be isomeric compounds. So isomeric monohalogen compounds or polyhalogen compounds will be obtained as a product. So we are taking the hydrocarbons here. So when hydrocarbons are treated with halogen in presence of UV light, so we are going to see the free radical halogenation takes place in presence of UV light. As a result, it will give chloroalkanes or bromoalkanes, and the obtained product will be the isomeric monohalogens or polyhalogens. So we'll take with the example, it will be easy to understand. So we'll take butane, it is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. So when a butane, that is N-butane, if it is treated with chlorine in presence of UV light or a process of heating. So as it is a isomeric compounds to show, I am taking 2 moles here. When 2 moles of butane are used, 2 moles of chlorine utilized in the process. So with the free radical halogenation, initiation, propagation, and termination of the chain length, if we consider, the substitution of halogen is possible at either terminal carbons or with the second carbon. So hence the product obtained will be CH3, CH2, CH2. We'll assume in the first case the terminal carbon is halogenated, and we'll take another example, CH3, CH2. In this case, the second carbon is substituted by halogen. If we observe this, so the first example product formed is, it is 1-chlorobutane is obtained, 1-chlorobutane. The second one is a positional isomer of this. The position of the functional group is at the second position, it is 2-chlorobutane. Hence, so the treatment is yielding the alkyl halides, so which are isomeric halides. And in the isomeric form, it is a structural isomerism. Position isomers are obtained. As the position of the functional group halogen is different in the products obtained, so these are positional isomers. So it's a simple free radical mechanism. The halogen chlorine will undergo a homolytic fission in presence of UV light and will attack the hydrocarbon chain, and through elongation step and propagation step finally is leading to 1-chlorobutane and 2-chlorobutane as product. Similarly, instead of chlorine, bromine can be taken. In the process, the product formed will be 1-bromobutane, 2-bromobutane. Again, the obtained compounds will be isomeric alkyl halides. So this method is suitable for preparation of the alkyl halides. Now we'll observe the second one by electrophilic substitution reaction. Here, any aromatic compounds, generally the hydrocarbons of aromatic nature, aromatic hydrocarbons are used. So when any aromatic hydrocarbon containing only carbon and hydrogen, If it is treated with the halogens, so generally used halogen is Cl2 or Br2, either with chlorine or bromine in presence of the catalyst, either iron, or you can use the respective halide of the iron, the ferric chloride or ferric bromide, in dark condition, which is a suitable condition for obtaining the product in higher yield. So under dark condition, so we are going to see the halogen substitutes to the aromatic ring at ortho and para position. Ortho and para substituted compounds we are going to obtain as the compounds. So hence this method is used for preparation of haloarenes. So haloarenes can be prepared by using electrophilic substitution reaction of any aromatic hydrocarbon by treating with halogen in presence of iron or iron halides in dark condition. So we'll be getting ortho and para substituted product. A mixture of both will be getting, but para will be obtained in major yield. So major yield for para product is due to steric factor. So what it is, the steric factor, we'll try to observe with the structure now. So we'll take the simple example to understand this. The aromatic hydrocarbon will take toluene as the example. So we'll try to prefer the NCERT based examples when we are learning. So toluene is C6H5CH3. So toluene is the hydrocarbon as aromatic ring containing compound. We'll take halogen as Cl2. When toluene is treated with chlorine, either in presence of iron or ferric chloride in dark condition. So just to show the mixture of product, I will take 2 toluene moles. Will combine with the chlorine here. So chlorine substitutes at ortho and para position. So in organic chemistry, we'll try to focus mainly on the conversion aspect rather than the balanced equations. So where it is necessary, balanced equations we need to write, but we'll focus majorly in organic chemistry. So the respective structure based or formula based conversions as priority in learning. Now, in one of the product, the halogen is substituted at ortho position, and in another product, the halogen is substituted at para position. So we know that to a substituent, the fourth position will be the para position. The compound formed here will be, it is 2-chlorotoluene or orthochlorotoluene, and this will be 4 or para-chlorotoluene. So if we take with the balanced equation, 2 moles will be utilized and the side product will be 2 HCl. So ortho and para product will be obtained as a mixture of product. So but para will be obtained in major yield. The reason for major yield is that it is more stable when compared to ortho substituted product. So what is this stable? So we'll understand with the steric factor. As we observe, the substituted groups or substituted atom and already present group. So they are away from each other in the case of para substitution, whereas in the case of ortho substitution, they are nearer. As they are nearer, the repulsion between the groups is more, and steric repulsion is more in this case, will make the product as less stable. Steric repulsion between the groups is more. As a result, the product is less stable. Whereas if we take in the para product, the steric repulsion is less. As a result of less steric repulsion, the product stability is more. So hence it is obtained in the major yield. So this is the electrophilic substitution reaction, which is used for preparation of haloarenes. I will observe with the next method, which is a very important named reaction, Sand-Meyer's reaction. The same we are going to learn in the unit amines again. So we'll try to focus here. Now, this method is used for preparation of only haloarenes. Haloarenes are prepared by using Sand-Meyer's reaction. So it is used for preparation of chlorobenzene, bromobenzene, as well as iodobenzene. For the respective preparation, we need to relate the method. The reagents used will be different, that we will focus now. It is iodobenzene. So for preparation of chloro, bromo, and iodobenzene, so we are using the Sand-Meyer's reaction. So in the Sand-Meyer's reaction, so we are going to take the primary aromatic amine. This is the condition. Which compound is used in Sand-Meyer's reaction will be asked, maybe for 1 mark if it is considered. So primary aromatic amines are only used in Sand-Meyer's reaction. Primary aromatic amine is aniline. So when primary aromatic amine, if it is used, so the process is involving 2 steps. In the first step, so we are going to see the conversion of the primary aromatic amines to benzene diazonium salt. It is benzene diazonium chloride. So how to obtain this will be the step 1. And in the step 2, we are going to see the respective preparation for chlorobenzene, bromobenzene, or iodobenzene. So when benzene diazonium chloride, if it is treated with cuprous halides, either with Cu2Cl2 or Cu2Br2, a similar method, cuprous chloride or cuprous bromide, we are going to get chloro or bromobenzene. It is chlorobenzene or bromobenzene. If it is for iodobenzene preparation, instead of cuprous halide, potassium iodide is used. By treating with potassium iodide, so we are going to get iodobenzene. So this is going to be our step 2. So step 1, when we are explaining, we need to concentrate how benzene diazonium chloride is formed. So formula for benzene diazonium salt is C6H5, a benzene ring, a diazonium group N2 attached with an halogen, it is Cl. C6H5N2 Cl is benzene diazonium chloride as a diazonium salt, which are very important compounds in preparation of azo dyes. And aromatic amine aniline, so aniline formula is C6H5NH2. That is, a benzene ring directly attached with amine group is primary amine, aromatic amine aniline. So chlorobenzene formula, it is C6H5Cl. Bromobenzene, it is C6H5Br. And iodobenzene, it is C6H5I. Anything can be asked as a 2 mark important question. So if it is 2 mark, we need to show both the steps. First step carries 1 mark, next step carries 1 mark with its correct explanation or self-explanatory equation. Now we'll try to observe how diazonium salt is prepared first. Now preparation of diazonium salt to consider, we'll take primary aromatic amine, that is aniline. When primary aromatic amine aniline is treated with the condition for preparation, it is with nitrous acid HNO2. So by treating with nitrous acid HNO2 in ice cold condition with mineral acid It is HCl HH. We are going to prepare. So that we'll try to observe now by treating with NaNO2. I will try to observe how it is prepared exactly. So when a primary aromatic amine is treated with HNO2, which is obtained by treating sodium nitrite with halogen acid, in presence of halogen acid, we'll take it as HCl. So we are going to see the nitrogen here will get bonded with the primary amines nitrogen. So the bonding of N will make a diazo group. It is N2 plus with Cl minus. So remaining will be removed in the form of water. So which we are not showing in detail. So this we'll try to learn in amines in detail how exactly it is formed. So generally it is maintained in ice cold condition. So diazonium salts are stable only in ice cold condition. It is 0 to 5 degrees Celsius or 273 to 278 Kelvin. So is the ideal temperature for preparation 0 degrees to 5 degrees Celsius, because benzene diazonium salts are stable only at this temperature. If it is crossing this, so the molecule will loses its stability. For example, if it is in water, will react with water if the temperature increases beyond this temperature. Hence, the primary aromatic amine aniline, by treating with nitrous acid with concentrated HCl or NaNO2 with HCl in ice cold condition, so will be yielding the benzene diazonium salt. It is giving benzene diazonium chloride as a benzene diazonium salt. When such obtained benzene diazonium chloride salt, if it is treated with cuprous chloride, that is Cu2Cl2, cuprous chloride here. So with the treatment of cuprous chloride, so we are going to see the molecule of diazonium salt. Diazo group will be removed in the form of nitrogen gas, and will Cl of the cuprous chloride will substitute the position. So hence chlorobenzene will be obtained as a product. If it is treated with cuprous bromide, Cu2Br2, bromine will displaces the diazo group position. So with the removal of nitrogen, so bromobenzene will be obtained as a product. Similarly, for preparing the iodobenzenes, it is treated with potassium iodide. So by treating with potassium iodide, again diazo group will be removed in the form of nitrogen, and iodine will substitute the position. Just to balance, you can show the K with say Cl will be removed as KCl. So this way, the chlorobenzene is obtained by treating with cuprous chloride of benzene diazonium treatment. Similarly, so treating cuprous bromide with benzene diazonium salt will give bromobenzene. Treating potassium iodide with benzene diazonium salt will give iodobenzene. So this first step is common for all. So in the Sandmeyer's reaction, so preparing the benzene diazonium chloride followed by treatment with cuprous halides will give chlorobenzene and bromobenzene, and by treating with potassium iodide, so will give iodobenzene. So this individually you try to write when you are practicing. So whichever the respective haloarine is asked, you can write the respective method. If it is chlorobenzene is asked, you try to show this. If it is for bromobenzene, if it is iodobenzene. So this is how the haloarines are obtained by using Sandmeyer's reaction.